apparently he wants me to tell a story. He wants me to get a story from him to tell it on the podcast about you. But I'm like, bro, how I look like grabbing, like not grabbing, but getting some information.
Mel shaving a fucking Mr. Miyagi mustache over here. Literally went and moved that big ass bag to shave that little bit of shit. Hey, yo.
He picked it up.
Right.
Threw it in the chair.
With it.
You could have just reached in the bag, Mel. Why didn't you just reach in the bag?
My boy is wild, Joe. Nasty work.
You could have just reached in the bag.
Wild. Oh my God. Yo. Can't make it up.
Can't make this stuff up.
Can't make it up.
Do the Yo, welcome to the cave with Mel, Troy, and Lex. The podcast with men that have a safe space. We on all platforms. You need to tune in. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Welcome to Melody, the podcast with men that have a safe space. Welcome to Melody. Welcome to the cave with Mel, Troy, and Lex. Do the intro, yo.
It's your boy T. Roy, a.k.a. your neighborhood hope dealer.
Yeah.
A.k.a. if you need some hope, I got some you can borrow. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow.
What it do, though? It's your boy, Dr. Life Coach Lace, a.k.a. NBA old boy, a.k.a. I'm him, a.k.a. that's hella pausable, a.k.a. yo, I'm trying.
Hey, what's going on? Yo, it's Melly Mel, yo, a.k.a. Melly Badass, a.k.a. Meek Mel, a.k.a. your favorite truth teller, a.k.a. if you don't want to know, don't ask me.
A.k.a. Mr. Brush My Face.
That shit caught me off guard. I thought he was about to say something real, and then he was like,
It's crazy. Wow.
Hey. See, this was an accident. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I can't do nothing around y'all, bro.
Can't do nothing.
It's hard.
I can't do
hard
nothing
out here.
I can't do nothing around y'all, man.
So what we on today, man?
Well, there has been there's a viral video that just went around about it's two couples. It's not two couples. It's a couple who's in counseling.
Mm-hmm.
And the man is trying to express to his wife, I don't feel seen, I don't feel heard. And she's like, you are heard, you are seen. And goes past. I'll just play the video for you.
And how do I not understand you?
Perfect example. You feel that I need affection. Mm-hmm. And it's more about being seen. You're so in with the boys and cooking, and I appreciate it all to the max. But I feel like I'm a ghost in the house.
And I feel like I'm a robot.
That I see, and I acknowledge that 100%.
Wait, that sounds meaningful.
That I'm a robot and that he feels like a ghost?
No. I heard Drew say that when you say he needs affection, you're not hearing him. That he's saying he feels like a ghost, like you don't see him.
I understand that.
Well, that you did not convey that. Your response was, and I'm a robot.
And that is an issue. It's always but this. It's not like
it goes both ways.
So how do I not understand you? Perfect example. You feel.
That's the clip.
Okay, go into it.
So both times. So this is based upon a TV show on Showtime called Couples Therapy, and this couple who is specifically sitting down, a young man who says, I don't feel like I'm being seen, I'm being heard. And every time he says that to his wife, her rebuttal is but I am doing this. Instead of saying, "Oh, you don't feel seen, you don't feel heard, tell me about it."
Sure.
So and it's funny because she's like, when the counselor stopped her the first time, she was like, yeah, it does sound crazy that I'm a robot and that he's doing. It's like, no, you didn't acknowledge anything he just said before he could even fully express himself. You went to a whole different topic. And so, with this week being Valentine's Day, you know what I'm saying? Are you being heard, men? Are you being heard in your relationships? Care to share about this whole about this situation,
So
gentlemen?
I just want to acknowledge before we even start this conversation that this is the week of love. However, Troy has introduced division and Troy has
confusion
Troy has decided
an abomination
to introduce division into the week of love,
Yes.
which is fine. We'll talk about it because we honest on this podcast. So we gonna talk about it. Do I feel heard? I would say these days, yes. These days, I feel like I do feel heard. It's definitely taking us some time to get there. Because like most men's experience in the past, if I would have expressed, not necessarily not being seen, but expressed my frustration or desire or whatever, if it did not align with my counterpart's feelings, then the conversation would become more about her feelings and how I need to manage her feelings versus what I was just talking about, which is what we're having this conversation about. So I have gone obviously through that vicious cycle, and it is frustrating. I'll say it, just not pandering or nothing like that. It's frustrating as hell when you're trying to not necessarily be seen in a relationship, but you're trying to express yourself. You're trying to express a frustration or something like that, and then it gets flipped on you where it's like, what's the best way for me to? I don't have a good example of it right now, but y'all know what. If you've been in a relationship for any amount of time, you a male, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Where it's like you say whatever's bothering you, and then she just don't feel good about what you said. So now it's like you need to make me feel better now because then we don't even focus on whatever it is that I came to you. There's no resolution because now we focus on you.
Yeah.
So that
And
I pretty much feel like
come-
that's what that expression was.
Like it come with a statement like, "Hey, I'm calling. This is basically a call out of an action. Hey, watch your tone. I don't like the way you use your tone towards me." It's like my tone is not the focus of the conversation.
Right. It's what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I feel.
Yes.
No, it happens all the time. I think one thing that I have learned over time, because the big topic recently has been around consideration. And it's like, well, you don't consider me XYZ, whatever. Well, no. Something is just human error. Like you can get so caught up in the day-to-day, I got to do this, got to do that, whatever. You just don't think about it.
Yeah.
But the bigger piece for me is, say for instance, I misstep once. That should not be the end of the world where you got to reevaluate everything. But when you do it, it's just human error.
Give me some grace.
Let me give me some grace. I'm sorry.
I'm working on it.
Like, if it's gonna be, if it's gonna be even or balanced, give the same energy that you want to receive. But overall, heard. I just think I have a disposition where I'm going to be heard, in good or bad. So, I don't. What my man is struggling with, I have not had that struggle in a long, long time. So, like Mel said, it's a learning, and you grow, and you try not to do those same things to be triggering or whatever. But that's what a lot of individuals face. I feel like this. Oh, but I'm this. I feel like that. Well, we're talking about me right now. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I've actually been in this scenario. I was the woman. So issue is brought to me, and then I bring back up something that happened a long time ago, and so I'm not presently here. I'm trying to more so be combative and things of that nature.
Defensive.
Yeah, I get defensive, and when I realized I was doing that, I said, okay, let me take more of a back seat whenever, tough conversations like this come up, so we can make sure we're hearing each other. But what it also taught me is the reason why I am defensive and I bring up old stuff is because I let stuff slide. And it just be, because honestly, a lot of stuff don't really bother me. I'm very low maintenance when it comes to, you know what I'm saying? I'm used to.
That's not true.
I'm not low maintenance?
No, that's why we laughing.
Whoa, this is gonna be news to me. I'm not low maintenance.
Laughing at?
I was laughing at you are pretty low maintenance if you listening to audio Where's Waldo books. That's definitely a little low maintenance, but yeah, and you are low maintenance in some aspects, but I would think emotionally you're not low maintenance.
You're not low maintenance.
Ooh,
you're not low maintenance.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
And we could dive more into it after we get.
No, we here now.
You're not low maintenance.
No, we here.
You're not low maintenance.
I'm not low maintenance. Share with me.
You're not.
This is news to me.
Yeah. Okay. Who told you were? Maybe
I'm thinking more so in relationship wise with my wife. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I don't. From my perspective, I don't really require a lot. I don't even require, like, when it comes to if you're talking about like gender roles within inside of the household, I've never been like, hey, you got to.
Oh, right now,
you know what I'm saying? You got to do all. You know what I'm saying?
Now.
I've never been like that. Like, if clothes got to get done, clothes got to get done. It don't matter who does them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can do clothes. I can. I'm not gonna cook food, but I can go get food. For us. Like, I've never been a burden in my relationship as far as like, at least I don't think I have been, as far as when it comes to marriage. But and it sounds like in friendship, I am high maintenance.
You're not. Okay, I'm not saying you're high maintenance, but I'm definitely saying that you're not low
maintenance. Right.
I'm not saying that you're high.
Okay.
But you're definitely not low.
Okay.
You're definitely not low.
Okay.
And that's she not here right now, but I'm imagining if we were to ask her, she would agree that you're not high, but you're not low either.
Okay.
Because you do have some expectations, which is realistic, which is, we all have expectations. So to be, to say that you low maintenance because you like, oh, I can get food, I ain't got to worry about gender roles and stuff like that. There are other expectations and things that come with you
right. That's
you
what I said from
that don't lean
space.
to being, you know what I'm saying, low. So physically, yes, you may be low maintenance. It don't take a lot for me to be physically whatever, but you are, of us, the group, more emotionally led, more in tune emotionally with things. So you carry a lot more stuff around with you that you deal with. Just like you say, you let a lot of stuff slide. So you are high maintenance in the sense of your expectations of maybe affirmation, how you expect to be treated, spoken to, in those type of spaces could be a little bit on the high end. So I think you somewhere in the middle. I'm not gonna say you high maintenance, but you definitely not low. So you keep saying you low, but holistically, I know that's y'all favorite word.
Have I held y'all hostage to my maintenance needs?
No. I'm just speaking of what we know of the relationship.
Yeah.
So not from a friendship standpoint. I mean, we do what we do, but as far as like, as Mel mentioned everything that he mentioned, but the way that you like to be affirmed and just how you the level of engagement that I know that you appreciate just from what you've shared, it would not be considered low maintenance to me.
It's not.
Okay.
And here, let me.
I'm not offended.
No,
offended.
I know you're not offended.
Yeah,
I know you're not offended. But let me try to frame it another way. People who are more lending to affirmation require a little bit more maintenance than those who don't, because affirmation is something that has to be continuous. It's something that you constantly have to output, and unless you're affirming yourself, the affirmation has to come from somewhere. So if you're not one of those people who have a daily affirmation that you say over yourself or something like that, you're waiting for others to affirm you. So then it becomes my responsibility to offer you affirmation. Which is
y'all feel responsible for my affirmation?
It's not that. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's I'm talking about in a relationship standpoint, because if you don't affirm yourself, where's the affirmation gonna come from?
Sure.
And then you're expecting someone else to affirm. You're waiting for someone else to affirm you.
Sure.
So now it's their responsibility, in a sense, to provide you with that affirmation.
But when I get text messages that say business up top, duck hunting on the bottom.
It ain't my job to affirm you. I am affirming you.
I don't expect affirmations from y'all,
from
though.
us, but I'm sure you have some type of expectation to want to be affirmed by your significant other at some point. you would want that type of affirmation. You would want her to
like
say
when
something
you say,
about it.
for instance, talk about business up top, duck hunting at the bottom. When you got the blazer, did you try it on for your wife?
Yes.
And what did she say?
Did it fit? She said, she was like, does this fit?
After that.
Did she say you look good? You killing them? Whatever. You go.
I told her that I was. As a matter of fact, this is what happened. I put it on, and I said, "Hey, I'm about to go to this event. You better come with me."
Oh, you put it on the same day.
Well, I mean, I tried it on the day that.
Did she see you in the outfit before you wore it to the event? That's what he.
Yeah,
asked
I mean, when I pulled it, it was a gift.
Mm-hmm.
I tried it on.
Mhm.
She was like, "Do you like it?" I was like, "Oh, yeah."
So she bought it for you.
She bought it for me.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, "It's nice." You know what I'm saying?
So then we already know how she felt about the blazer because
Right.
she the one that bought it.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the day that I actually wore it out, I was like, "You might want to come with me to this event because they gonna be on me."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I might come back home. It might not just be me. You feel me? I told her that 6 times. I was like, you sure? Because this is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. They see a young black man, walk up in there, blazed up.
Never mind. Bad example.
It was a bad
example. Bad example. Bad example.
If people don't affirm me, I'll affirm myself.
But you be waiting for it because you always make mention
You
of
appreciate
it.
good. You appreciate a good.
I mean, I do
argument.
appreciate it.
But he always makes mention of how he, in a sense, needed it to get through the day. Not just today, but we talked about it several times. You brought it up about your need and desire for affirmation, and a lot of the things that you have done or do is because you are hoping and looking to get affirmation.
I do appreciate affirmation. Yes, some actions are done to get recognition from it. I ain't gonna hold you. Now I'm questioning my whole existence.
I'm not. You don't need to question your
No,
whole
not
existence.
Jeez Louise, guys.
Okay, take it. Say. You know how the gas pump got 87, 89, and 93?
Yeah.
I was
You
thinking
at
about
89.
that.
You 89.
But that's the low one though. 89.
No, that's
Nah,
mid grade.
87.
87
That
is
is
low.
low.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You
89 is mid grade. You 89. Okay, you
Okay.
in the middle.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing
yeah.
wrong with being in the middle.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
You in the middle. Ain't nothing wrong with the middle.
Okay. I got you. I received that. I received that. I mean, I recognize that. I look for words.
So
but
why the hell you have us go through this whole exercise just to say you received
To see
that?
you receive
I mean,
it.
but
It's cool.
that's the whole point of.
No, you said you recognize that as if you.
Now I
already knew
reckon.
that.
No,
Oh, okay.
now I
Okay.
recognize it. Now I
Okay.
recognize it. You know what I'm saying? And I had gotten a little sense of that. In some cases and stuff like that. Because, one of my go-tos at work is when I walk in. I walk in and I go like this to my colleagues, expecting them to start applauding and stuff like that as I'm coming in. Because yes, Troy's here today. Celebrate me like how like when a guest host comes in on a TV
90s
show.
sitcom and they used to clap.
Yeah, and I want them to cheer and clap, and they just, Troy, sit down. And I sit down.
Does anybody boo you or give you, like give you thumbs down?
I've been booed. I've been
Okay.
booed a couple
Okay.
times. I've been
Okay.
booed a couple times in my family text group. They've thrown tomatoes at me on several occasions. So I'm pretty used to it. Yeah.
Well, I think what's deeper in that conversation and what he was saying, it wasn't necessarily about him being heard. When he was talking about his experience from the sense of being seen, he mentioned her doing as much as she could do for the boys. I'm assuming the boys are their sons, doing everything she can for their sons and making sure the home is good for them and stuff like that, which he said he appreciated. But essentially what he's saying is, don't forget about me while you're doing that. He's feeling like he's not at the top of her care and concern list. And I'll tell you right now, as a husband, that's a tough place to be when you if you're a good husband and you're doing all that you can for your wife and your kids and you making sure everybody is good, not just leaning to one side of it where you're taking care of your kids, and to feel like you on the bottom of somebody else's care list while you're doing everything that you can to take care of them. That's a terrible feeling. It's a terrible place to be. And I don't think that they do it intentionally. But I've been around enough husbands who, when they first got married, did not have kids, and then they had a child and watch how their wife changed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not negative, but it does change the dynamic of the relationship.
Right.
It's like a lot of women who may have got married and did not have children already, they have a child and then they kind of get lost in motherhood to where their mind goes, I'm somebody's mama now. And less like, oh, I'm somebody's wife. When you just somebody's wife and ain't no kids, it's all fun. They all up into you, everything that you do. You know, they consider everything concerning you in that space. But as soon as those kids come, they really lean in. You know what I'm saying? They really lean into motherhood. And then sometimes you just like, you know, I appreciate that you're a wonderful mother. I appreciate all that you do. But don't forget that you're somebody's wife too. You know, like don't forget about me in the mix. And I think that's what he's getting to. He's saying you're forgetting me in the mix. And I just want you to add me, where she's saying like, oh, now I'm a robot.
Well, I think too, from what he was saying, the way that he needs to be seen is different from the way that she thinks he needs to be seen. Because he mentioned like all the things that she does, you know, and he appreciates that. But what he's saying is that's not how I want to be seen. And a lot of times you can be in relationships where, and that could be probably why she feel like a robot. I'm doing X, Y, Z, doing all these things, and he's not acknowledging it in a way that I feel like I need to be acknowledged or whatever. So I think it goes both ways in that regard. But he's saying essentially, I need to be seen in this way, and that's not how you are viewing me. Hence why there's the disconnect.
That's a whole nother layer, bro.
Yeah.
Because
tell me more.
No, when we've all been in that experience that Late's talking about right now, where it's like a lot of women walk around thinking that they're a great woman to their man because they remember what they're doing. But a lot of times it's not even the thing that he asked for. Like you're doing a bunch of stuff that I didn't even ask you to do, and in the areas where I'm asking you to help me or to meet me or whatever, you're not even doing those. But you feel like you're doing a good job because you got this list of outputs that you're doing. It's like, yeah, you're doing that, and that's great. But I need you to be over here. You know what I'm saying? I need you to be over here. That's not what you know what I'm saying? That's not what I asked for. Like you go to a restaurant, you want your meal, they bring you something else. Although this food looks good, and you brought it to me, this ain't what I asked for. This ain't what I ordered. So it's like, that's crazy. Getting to that space was like, yo, that's cool that you're doing that. But can you get back? Can you come back over on this side of it and take care of me? So yeah, there's a lot of layers in this conversation.
Definitely.
Is some of that because of not laying out what you want, or is it something else? Is it that they're just relying on what makes them feel comfortable and what they can actually give? You know what I mean?
It could be a plethora of things. I think some of it is people's needs and expectations change. So I think it's up to that individual to be able to express that appropriately, and that gives someone an opportunity to respond to those expectations. But I think too, it's also from the opposite end, being mindful of, okay, I'm seeing a shift in my person. How can we have a conversation to make sure that is aligned appropriately, et cetera? So a lot of it is communication. Obviously, some of it is action, but being able to verbalize it for understanding. And the clip that we showed, there was no understanding, and that's where the disconnect comes from.
I think that Lay said that very eloquently. And I'm just gonna say, in most cases, it's just a blatant disregard for what is being said. Let's just talk about it, because it happens just like it happened in that clip. I'm telling you my experience, and you more focused about what it is that you're dealing with and what you think you're doing, so you don't care about what I'm saying. So you don't even have time to think about what I'm saying because you're already focused on yourself and internalizing your, personal experience. So I'm not gonna say that I'm not disagreeing that there could be a lot of different things to it. But most of the time, let's just be honest, it's a blatant disregard. Like, I'm comfortable in this space. I don't want to do what you asking. I may not want to do that, or you've done something that has put me in a space where now I don't want to do outputs, because we've been there before too. You did something or said something, so now I'm going to withhold a thing, whatever that may be, because I know you want it and you pissed me off earlier or something like that. So it's not just always a need to articulate understanding. Because I think a lot of men say what they want. They say what they need, but then they just be like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what I want. You say you don't like surprise birthday parties. She throw you a surprise birthday party because she want to throw you a surprise birthday party. I don't like surprise birthday parties, but then you got to be appreciative of the birthday party because she went out of her way to make you feel like, I don't like surprise birthday parties though. So you giving me something I don't like as a gift, but now I gotta act like I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's like plenty of times men are constantly saying what they like, what they don't like, but women always act like men are so hard to understand.
Mhm.
He don't never say it. We always saying it.
Mhm.
Men are always saying it. We get straight to the point. We say it, and then sometimes it's like, well, you were too forward with saying what you wanted. You should have been a little bit more mysterious about what it was, because now you saying too much. So it's like, are we
That's
saying it or are we
wild.
saying it or not?
Mm-hmm.
And then most times we saying it,
Mhm.
and they just be like, well, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, so I'm gonna act like I didn't hear what you said. I'm
Yeah.
gonna just turn it back on me.
Mm-hmm. That's wild. For someone to say, you did tell me, but that's not how I wanted to be
But
told.
that's what happens though. But that's what happens.
Yeah, it can definitely happen that way.
Hopefully, my man, they're able to work.
But
that out.
luckily, they're in a place where there's a mediator and
That-
the counselor's there to kind of break that down. Because if he was to respond, it wouldn't have been.
It wouldn't have been like
it would
that.
have been totally different. So
Now I'm gonna say this: for that counselor to be as slow in talking, and if I was the person in the wrong, and she brought that haymaker like this slow and punched me in the face with it by calling me out, I'd have been really mad in that session. I ain't gonna hold you. Just, hey, bro, tell me what I did wrong. Tell me what I did wrong. Don't try to be like, I heard something. No, tell me what you heard. Don't try to pull it. Just tell me what you heard. And let's not beat around the bush.
Well, I think most people's issue with counseling, and why a lot of people don't go to it, is because it's usually one person that wants to go to the counselor. They feel like we need to go see a counselor or something like that and deal with it. And one person is like, we don't need to go to counseling, or I don't want to go because I don't want to put someone else in our business or something like that. But as someone who's experienced counseling and listen to other people do it, as a couple, those first 1 or 2 sessions of counseling is really just a competition. I'm coming in here to tell my side. I'm coming to, since you making me be here, I'm coming in here to tell my side so they can tell us who right or who wrong.
Mm-hmm.
One of us, you sitting in there hoping that the counselor tells this other person that they wrong so you can have your ammo for when you go back home.
Yeah.
To be like, counselor said, remember I was calling you nutty at the crib? She just told you, she told you the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't be crazy. So the first 1 or 2 sessions is basically just like I feel like it's a competition at first before we even get to dealing with the real conversation. So most people don't even make it past that because you carry the arguments that you had with you to counseling, and then you argue more when you leave because
the counselor don't tell you who's right or wrong. They just be listening.
Sometimes they tell you who right and who wrong.
Yeah.
They'll tell you who right if you go to a real counselor.
Mm.
I don't have an issue with counselors or going to counseling, but I will never go to a marriage counselor who has never been married.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I would never go to a marriage counselor that's never been married before.
The reason why I said sometimes they don't tell you who's right or wrong is because they're trying to build up tools and techniques and methods in which you can address issues as they come along. Because they want you to figure out the issue for yourself and solve it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And they just serve as mediator to try to make sure that you get there where you need to get to. But you're right though, because I'm one of them people. If we come to counseling, I want somebody to say who right, who wrong. Because I own my wrong.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but I just can't see where I'm wrong. Maybe I need a second party in order to be able to point that out.
Like say something.
Say something. You know what I'm saying? If I'm right, talking about words of affirmation, you better tell me I'm right. You better tell me I am right in that whole situation.
All right, next one. You had another one. We off that? We done with that one?
Yeah, we pretty much exhausted this one. This next one is actually from Christmas. It's a Christmas situation. Let me know what y'all think about this story.
I'm going to share a story about my Christmas this morning, how it went. I am in a relationship. We live together. We've lived together for the last 4 years. We decided to give my son his older son's old gaming computer because his older son's getting a new one. And my son wanted one for Christmas, and I really didn't want him to have it. I had reservations about him getting a computer. I think he's a little too old, too young. He's only 9. But he convinced me to let him have it. He thought that it would be a good financial decision, and also a way for him to have what he wants with us, not having to invest too much money. So he goes to his son's house, Christmas Eve, yesterday. He sets up the new computer, and it is a nice computer. It's even nicer than the one that he wanted, top of the line, okay? He gets the old computer. He brings it back. We have a dinner to go to. So we go to dinner. At dinner, we're discussing, I bring up, like, okay, so what's the plan? Because we had discussed it prior, about a week ago, and the plan was we were going to put it together, make sure his stuff was ready the night before while he was sleeping so he could wake up and play with his stuff. However, when I bring it up now, he's saying that, we could just do it in the morning and blah, 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 blah. He doesn't feel like doing it now. His family's in town. He wants to have some drinks with them, whatever. Okay. That was just not sitting well with me at all. That was not the plan. This is my son. I wanted him to wake up and enjoy his stuff just like his son gets to wake up and enjoy his stuff. Actually, his son has been enjoying his stuff since yesterday, the day before Christmas. Okay. So I get upset and I'm like, why does my son have to wait on enjoying his Christmas stuff because you want to be lazy all of a sudden? So since he didn't like what I said about being lazy, he says, well, why don't I just not give him the computer then? So we are at a dinner. We are at a girlfriend's house eating dinner when this happened. So I have to pull together. And in my mind, I'm trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to handle this? So I'm like, I'm going to get back to the house and I'm just going to put the computer disc together and just so he can have something to, because he had nothing else. This was his big gift. Like the other stuff was to supplement the computer. Okay. So I get home. I start putting stuff together. I'm a wreck. I'm an emotional free wreck. Okay. I start, I pull out the computer stand desk and I start, trying to put it together. And he says, as he sees me doing it, he's like, I don't know what you need a computer desk for when you ain't got no computer. I put the computer stand together. I put the chair together. And, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to have to tell him some.
What are you asking us on this? If we care about it, what would we do? If this is, what are you asking here before we
What I'm asking
you doubling
is
down on division for Valentine's Day. I just want you doubling down. You trying to have people arguing.
The question is, does she have a case for her son in this situation?
What do you mean a case?
Does she have the right to be upset that her live-in boyfriend for 4 years did not feel like putting together the stuff for her kid after he didn't did it for his own kid? And it sounds like he had to do it for his own kid at his at the baby mama's house. Doesn't sound like he did it at his own house. But he was taking what he had from there and bringing it back to the crib with his girlfriend and their live-in son that she has.
Before I go, I want to know if Lace has an eloquent.
No, I think she does
I don't
have
think
a
that
case.
I'm gonna be as eloquent as Lace.
In this situation, she does have a case. They had an agreement. The agreement was this was going to be done by so that he could have the experience, etc.
Sure.
Obviously, that was not met, but I think she could have. It may have been premature for her to respond in that way at the dinner and all that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if libations was going around and that led to this overall disagreement. But from the conversation expectation that was set, she has a right to be upset in regards to the son's gift being in place.
Sure.
All of that. But how they communicated, because we only heard one side of the communication.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We got that, but you're right. There's always 3 sides to every story. I will say this before you eloquently
go ahead,
state what you need to state. The kid don't care. The kid don't care if it was set up or not. And I honestly, what you should have did was find a way to package it, so that they can have something to open and then you put it together, because that's fun in itself right there. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
not fun.
That
For
is
anybody that's ever done that. That's not fun.
Well,
So,
maybe
It
for
really
the kid,
is not fun.
it's not.
and like with anticipation, it could be fun. Like, I understand, you know, if you got a bike that's up under the tree, it's better to have the bike already put together than the bike still be in the box. You know what I'm saying? That way you just, you know, go outside and hang out with Mel in the cul-de-sac as he rides around in his rollerblades. But some items, you know, you can give some grace to. The kid don't really care. They just be happy that they got something. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion.
Well, I don't need to be there to know what happened in this case. Okay? There's a lot of wisdom that can be pulled from this conversation, from her sharing what she just shared. Okay, does she have a right to be upset about the gaming computer? Yeah, she has a right to be upset about it. If they had an agreement that he was going to give her the computer for her son to have for Christmas because it's something that he wanted, because he didn't do that, yeah, she has a right to be upset. This to me sounds like a petty situation in which a woman was running her mouth about something. He got upset that she was running her mouth, and he decided to withhold what it was that she was going to get, just like women do to men.
What do you think
This
she
is
was running her
exactly
mouth
what-
about?
She did not talk to him the way that she was talking in that video to get all of us to buy in, to be on her side about this situation. Had she probably talked to him the way that she was talking to us in that video, he would have gave her that computer, and he would have put that desk together, and that baby would have woke up on Christmas with that gaming computer. They were sitting at that dinner. She was yapping off at the mouth about how she wanted that computer desk to be up for her son. And he probably said something, well, I was hoping to kind of go out with family tonight, Christmas Eve. Obviously, it's Christmas Eve. Drinks, whatever you want to call it. I can do it in the morning. I can wake up. He didn't say what time. He could have woke up before the sun and put the computer desk out. He could have done it when he got back from the drinks or whatever. All he said was, I can do it later. Not that I won't do it. I can do it later. And she was dissatisfied with that answer and probably started yapping out the mouth at the table about how she wanted it the way that she wanted. No, treat my son the way you treated your son.
Yeah.
Go out your way to set up this desk the way that you did for your son.
That likely in this situation was the unspoken expectation that she may not have shared with him, because the at the core of it, that's what the issue is.
Yeah.
Not
Treat my son how you treat your son.
Not the fact that,
Yeah.
you know, you going out or whatever.
Yeah.
That the core of it is
treat my son how you treated your son.
Right.
And he's not my son.
Right.
He's not my son.
Which is true, but you
But
can't
you
be
can't
blended.
expect-
You can't be blended
I'm not
like
saying
that.
you can't
and
be blended, but there are a lot of people who live in those blended situations.
People do, but I don't
live
support
in that.
Yeah,
I'm saying
I don't support that.
That's not me, but I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
there are people who live in those blended type of situations. Again, this is what I'm saying. This is layers, and number of reasons why you shouldn't be bringing your business to social media anyway, because there's so many other things that.
And he getting a hand-me-down computer from Rip.
But I'm just saying. But the fact that I'm giving him something, giving him whatever, but. We don't know how many other situations, you said live in for 4 years. How many other situations could they have been in where maybe he tried to correct the boy and he couldn't? Because his mama said, you're not my son. Or any other situations where he may not have input or may not have the ability to treat your son how he treats his son. And then now that it's something that you want, you like, treat my son how you treat your son. Well, I can't treat him like I treat my son any other time. So why are you putting that on me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying right now? That's what I'm saying. There's so many other different variables to this conversation as to where you can't really say whose side you on, yes or no, or whatever. Based on the part about, if he didn't give the son the computer after saying yes, he could have it.
Right.
Yes, she has a right to be mad about it. Does she have a right to be mad about the timing in which it was executed or whatever? No, not really. Unless y'all already had an agreement where he said, "Hey, on Christmas Eve, I'm gonna put the desk out," then now he's changed his mind saying I'm going out. Based on the way she explained the story, they never talked about that. She
Right,
just expected him to do that, and when he said that he wouldn't, based on her internal expectation, she got attitude. And I know she didn't sit at that table and kindly, eloquently explain it. Because think about it now. Now I'm a mama who feels like my child is being done
Slighted.
wrong. Now I'm in
Yeah,
mama mode.
yeah.
So now I'm coming at you differently. I'm coming at you, a little bit more aggressive because I want to make sure my child good.
But the other thing too is, I find it hard to believe, and maybe as you have articulated, maybe so, that he might not be able to discipline us, do XYZ with the son. But I would hope that she wouldn't be in a relationship with somebody for 4 years, and that is the gap in practice. You know what I'm saying? So that could very well be so. But from what she disclosed, been together 4 years, this, that, and the third. So to me, it's got to be a bigger issue or concern. If you go be in a relationship 4 years, and then you come into social media bringing this to the table, from my opinion.
That's what you'd be surprised at how many blended families are built just the way that you think they shouldn't be. Where
No, I'm not saying. I'm sure that's accurate. No, I'm absolutely 100% positive.
Especially in these type of situations where the mama already has kids, it's known. That's common.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree with that.
Don't discipline them, don't say nothing to them. That's my child, blah blah blah. And that's one of the reasons why people always talk about why men don't want to be in relationships with women who have kids for these different variables. Can I treat him the right way, or not necessarily always discipline, but can I be involved, blah blah blah. So do I think that she has a right? Yes. I just think it was a petty situation in which she was probably talking so much that he just was like, well, I ain't gonna do nothing. So you keep running your mouth, I ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So do whatever do whatever it is that you're gonna do. So I just don't I'm not just gonna jump out the window and say he all the way wrong. Was it petty? Yeah, petty as hell. As a petty person, it was definitely petty. But if it wasn't spoken, if we didn't have that conversation and you internalized expectations that you never communicated to me that I didn't execute, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
I hope my man still enjoyed his Christmas gift.
Hope so. Hope he got his gift situated.
But then, like you said, again, the child don't care.
It don't care.
And some of it is just more about us than the people involved. He don't care. As long as he got the computer, he would have been happy. She wanted it to be a certain way. It was more for her than it was for her. Argument was more for her than it was for her son.
Exactly.
She made it about her son, but it was really for her. It was really about her.
Because as soon as he started playing Grand Theft Auto on that joint or NBA 2K on that joint, he
He
don't
care.
He don't care.
He don't care where the computer came from.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's a hand me down, but the specs are better. I'll take it. Obviously, the kid didn't really have too big of expectations when it comes to gifts and stuff like that. So why are you trumping up the expectation even more?
But this goes, and this is a good tie into that clip that I told you about that I saw with Alicia Keys, where she was I can't remember whose show she was on, but she was talking about how a lot of times women struggle to trust the man that they're with because they don't always do what they say they're going to do. And it would be a lot easier for women to trust that man if you just did what you say you were going to do. So from the and when I think about that, I think about how small it can even be, like to do what you say you're going to do. Like we think about it, like us men, we be like, we look at it from the big picture. Like if I told you I was going to take you out for your birthday, I got to make sure I take you out for your birthday. If I don't, there's going to be a problem. But we don't look at it from the lens or petty lenses. They look at it from like, if I said I was going to take out the trash and I didn't take out the trash, like it could be that small. Like and they always testing us. They always test you to see if you're going to do what you're going to say. Sometimes I feel like, even to this day, Sharita asked me to do stuff just to see if I'm gonna do it. So it's like, just do what you say you're gonna do, and it'd be a little bit easier.
Well, see, there's a difference of agreeing to do it and then meeting expectation to do said thing. Right. So, for instance, going back to the trash thing, hey Troy, take out the trash. All right, I will. But in my mind, I am going to take it out. Not right now. But when you said Troy, take out the trash, you wanted me to do it right then. Then and now. And so it's a matter of it will get done. And I think, and that's the miscommunications on both ends of the party. You know what I'm saying? Like one party has the expectation that you do it now. Other parties like, I'm gonna do it, but just in my own time. And I think that's where a fall off in communication is. In which we end up having, and something blows up and then expectations don't ever get met. Or at least don't seemingly get met. You know what I'm saying? They are met, but just not in the timing that we are. So if we're flexible in our ability to give the person that we are requesting something a little bit of flexibility to operate in, we'll realize a lot of stuff will get done.
So do you got any hope on that list that you have? Hope for black love or anything on there?
Well, I don't. I ain't even going. But I would like to be an example of what hope for black love is, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why. When the first falling outs of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett happened some years ago with August Alsina, a lot of people were hurt. And They were like, why? And people were like, why are you so hurt? They were like, well, they were my example of what love should be like. Even, J. Cole mentioned it in the song and stuff like that, that Will and that Jada and that Will love. And I've come to understand that my hope for Black love, for love period, can't be put into people that are famous or who are put in the forefront. There are literally people that are inside my circle that are great examples of what love is. You know what I'm saying? And for the case of my marriage and my relationship, I desire to be that example of Black love. You know what I'm saying? Like my wife and I, we go through various things. And we talk through those situations, and I can happily say, while we have situations that we go through, we still stand and we still strong. You know what I'm saying? This year will be 14 years. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, that we both alive, and by the time of our anniversary, and that's a testament of dedication.
Mm-hmm.
So I stand as the example of hope for Black love. Okay,
this designated
He
himself.
did.
He designated himself as a new face of Black love.
Yeah, man, because we end up going through things that we never thought that we would ever go through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who would have thought that two Christians who solely believe and trust and put their faith in the Lord would struggle with managing spirituality within their marriage?
Mm-hmm.
You would never think that that's an issue. You know what I'm saying? But but as time goes a long time, I think, granted, the struggle was going to happen whether we were together or not, but to manage that together and to work through, like, here we are in our big 40s, we trying to figure out, which church we're going to attend to, you know what I'm saying? And like that, well, it happened because we moved, but now we're trying to figure out, all right, what exactly do we like to have?
Right,
you know what I'm
right.
saying, as far as service and stuff like that. And so managing money and things of that nature, managing money, managing time, expectations of planning and things like that. Like, who would have thought that those would have been issues? But I think that comes with the territory. It's not necessarily told ahead of time, but you go through and you share your story about the things that y'all manage. What is so funny, Melvin?
I was thinking about when you was talking about still looking for a church home, and then I was like, this is a TV show, because as many churches as y'all done toured between here and the top of the Mason-Dixon line.
Yo, for real.
I just, you need a series.
I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I went to a Baptist church last Sunday. I cried like a baby. Cried like I didn't realize my soul, my spirit had been crying out, needing soulfulness.
Mm-hmm.
A song, you know what I'm saying? Just a song broke me down, and I was like, all right, I don't know if I can ever go back to what I'm used to. You
used to K and Dub. You need some of them, you know what I mean? So what's the moral, man?
Find your person.
Find your person.
Set your expectations.
Set your
realistic expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Communicate your expectations.
Yeah.
Hell, don't just set them. I don't know.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
You're going to say happy Valentine's Day after you done created division.
You done caused the whole...
This the second time you done that.
No, this is the point. We present problems, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We pick out the issues and the problems, and then we give solutions at the end. That's
this
what
ain't
we
the
do.
day. This ain't the day that we wanted to do that, though.
Who are we to be fake?
Right.
Ain't nothing to say we fake. We ain't saying we fake.
Who are we to be fake and not call out, things that we deal with?
We ain't saying that we
But you
fake
gonna
for
mess
not
up
talking about it.
Mel's buns.
He ain't gonna mess up my buns. He ain't gonna mess up my buns. I got some buns guaranteed.
Because Mel go get, that's what I was about to say. Valentine's Day, Mel go all out.
I'm getting the buns on Valentine's Day. I do. My buns are set up like black people. go to church.
Yeah.
3 days out the year that I know for sure I'm
Right.
going. Easter, Mother's Day, and Christmas. There's a couple days throughout the year that I know for a fact I'm getting buns, and Valentine's Day is one of them.
What's your go-to for Valentine's Day?
What you mean was my go-to? I
Like-
don't have a go-to. I change it I always change it.
Oh, so you got different plays every year.
Every year I got a different play.
Mm.
I'm spontaneous. I told you that.
Mm. Do you have a play?
I don't need a play.
You don't. Oh,
I mean, I got a playbook.
I don't need a play.
give me one of the plays out your playbook that you presented one year.
What you mean as far as like activities?
Yeah.
No, I'll wait till Lace not here.
Well, we know last year it was a picnic basket or something like that.
I would never do no pad
He
basket.
did do a basket for something. What was
I
it?
ain't no basket. I don't do baskets.
No, we're
it
mixing
was
up stories. We're talking about the Easter story.
No, I'm not. Not making a basket. You was planning a picnic or something the other year for something. I don't know if that was. It might not have been Valentine's Day. It might have been anniversary or something like that. But it was something with a picnic basket.
I didn't have a picnic basket. I did do a family picnic in the park though.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
I did. That was spontaneous.
That's what I was
okay,
thinking
because
of.
who would think that would come from somebody like me?
So
Let's
what
go
you
do a
make?
family
You made
picnic in the-
made bologna and mustard sandwich.
I ain't make nothing.
What you do?
I ain't make nothing. It was
okay.
just it was a spontaneous day. We was off. We didn't have nothing to do. The weather was nice. I said, "Oh, we go to the park, do a little family picnic, whatever like that." So who would think that would come from me? So it was spontaneous action. I didn't make no sandwiches though, and we didn't really have a basket. We had bags, plastic bags. I went to Harris Teeter on the way to the park. I went to Harris Teeter on the way to the park. I said, "Hey, get what y'all want."
Yeah.
Sandwich, a snack, whatever it is, we gonna go. We sit out a little blanket or something, have a good time, and we did. They had a good time. They enjoyed it.
That's what's
Got a little Italian ice from the little stand.
Word.
Italian ice is fire.
Okay.
That's
I got a bunch of plays. I'm not gonna tell you till Lace leave because I don't want him to bring it up.
Because I'm about to leave.
Yeah, I know because he gonna bring it up later on.
Yep.
Well, that's all I got, fellas.
Bet.
That's fine. Well, I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day.
Yes.
After we done destroyed, your relationship and stuff like that. I hope y'all work it out. Fellas, I hope you get what you're looking for. I know some of y'all be expecting gifts on Valentine's Day, even though I'm against it. So I hope y'all get good gifts. Make sure you get your lady something.
You against men getting gifts?
I'm not against it. I'm against the expectation of men hoping to get a gift on Valentine's Day.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So if you get one, you got your good one.
All praises be.
If you don't, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And this has been the Man of These podcast. And until next time, we out.